Welcome to Binge-Worthy. I'm Rob Southgate. With me is
Martha Southgate.
And hey, Martha, you remembered we were recording tonight.
I did. I actually did.
Okay. There might be an outtake that happens at the end of this episode.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I'll remember partway through.
Might explain
right
why I said all that. All right, tonight we're talking Shameless, the American one. It's on Showtime, not the British one.
Yes.
It's important to note that. And we're also going to do this in the entirety. It's run for 7 seasons and
84 episodes, which we watched in a very
short amount of time.
Ridiculously short amount of time. Which
and
is
they're
kind
not
of
like 20-minute episodes either. So this was ridiculous. But we got to talk about it.
Yes.
So, Martha, you want to give us some details about it? Get us set up?
It first aired in January of 2011.
Okay.
And on show, as you said, on Showtime. And I'm going to give you just a really tiny synopsis.
Okay.
This is off of Wikipedia, just in case anyone is wondering where I'm stealing this from. It's an American comedy drama. Oh, there sure is a heck of a lot of drama.
Yes.
Television series.
There's also a lot of comedy to it.
Yeah, which airs on Showtime. Cringy kind of comedy.
Yeah, right.
It's not like haha
Welcome
comedy.
to Cringeworthy.
Yeah, it's cringy.
Yeah.
It's a remake of the British series, and it's set in Chicago. And it's about a dysfunctional family, to say the least.
Well, it's a bunch of siblings.
6
that live in a house, and they've got these dysfunctional parents that are
alcoholic, drug
abusing. They're
and
not.
The mom is has mental illness.
Yeah, and the father is basically a lowlife and a criminal in a lot of ways.
But really, one of he might actually be the most despicable character I have ever seen in a TV show or possibly even a movie.
He is the
worst, but I cannot get enough.
I can't either.
He's played by William H. Macy, who keeps winning.
He's Frank. You want Frank in every episode.
He wins all the awards.
When he's on.
How many? I wonder how many he's won. He has won so many awards for this show.
I don't have a list here that's quick. He's nominated. It says they've had, I think, 55 nominations for different things.
He's won Emmys. And
he has won.
Things.
Okay, he won the Online TV Association Best Actor. Let's see. He won. Oh my gosh, this list is ridiculous.
Yeah, he's won a
Screen
lot.
Actors Guild, it looks like.
He's won
Golden
Emmys.
Globes. Oh no, he was nominated for a Golden Globe in 2015. Won a Primetime Emmy. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, there's 55 nominations and like 11 wins or something for the show. Most of them are William H. Macy, Emily Rasmussen.
What are you calling
Isn't that her name? What's her name?
Emmy Rossum?
Yeah, Emmy Rossum. I don't know.
Emily Rasmussen. Okay, we don't know who she is. But she's
an
not
actress
on this
too.
show.
And then you've got
and Joan Cusack.
Rossum, Joan Cusack,
Chloe Webb.
Yeah, she was nominated. And then it's stuff like stunt coordinators and writers and that, which is so deserved. It's a crazy show.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And okay, so I want to take a step back for a second. 2 things. One is it is based on a British show, which we saw on Hulu. And that show ran for 9 seasons. This is done 7, and it was just renewed for number 8. So this could run the same amount, maybe even more. Who knows? I know that it loosely follows the British show, especially that first season did follow a lot of the same beats. But here's the crazy thing. When we watched the British one, we made it about, 5 episodes in. And without saying what it is in any way, something happens. And when it happens, I mean, talk about despicable. It is the most despicable thing. And for us, we're not prudes, but this was so offensive that we didn't go back to the next episode. We ended and went,
And I called my friend who had recommended it, and I said, "Why did you recommend this?" She's like, "Which one are you watching?" I said, "The British one." She's like, "No, you have to watch the."
But
you have to watch the Showtime.
The British
yeah,
one.
but you know what? We didn't have the issue with the Showtime one. They played it so differently.
They played it differently.
It was still the same topic. It was still the same outcome.
Level of disgusting.
But the adult lead character had a conscience in this one in that moment, and it was wrong.
Yes, they handled it
they knew
better.
it was wrong. Like
they handled it better.
Yes.
But I would really like to go back and start with the episode after that has happened.
Yes.
To see, because we have enjoyed this so much. There might be another, 8.5 seasons of show.
Yeah, because we really
dig.
liked the cast on that. Okay, but we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, but I just wanted to point that out because it was such a turnoff, and when it happened here, I was nervous about it, and our friend was like, "Oh yeah, that did happen."
But they're like,
She's like, it kind of becomes inconsequential. And to us, it was like, "Are you kidding? How could that be inconsequential?" It does. I mean, it has consequences, big time.
But it's not played the same way, and the emphasis is completely opposite.
And I will say that the British one, I believe, is also highly decorated.
It's sure.
a really
but we're not talking about
popular
that one,
show.
So
no, I'm ready to move on to other things.
So one of the things I want to point out is the music. They feature on every episode indie musicians.
Yes.
And that's really kind of fun if you are into music.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool music going on here.
Yeah.
It feels very real.
It's very urban.
Yeah, it takes place on the south side of Chicago, and if you're from Chicago, you definitely recognize a lot of the archetypes and things that are going on. Now, it is interesting. They don't film everything in Chicago.
No,
they do film
in
stuff
LA.
here,
yeah.
but it is filmed in L.A. Mm-hmm. The exterior shots are all shot here. And I know that they do cast people, and they do use people from Chicago in the show. But in general, like all that interior stuff inside their house, that's all done in L.A. Okay, let's talk about the cast for a second. Yeah. This cast, these guys are unbelievable.
I don't know who I love more.
I can tell you.
And as it goes on, it's like you just are so attached. Like there's really not any that you go, wow, that's a really crappy actor. Or
you love what they do with the characters. Mm-hmm. While at the same time you despise most of them because they're despicable, or you just go, you're an idiot. What is wrong with you? Like you just want to sit down with them and explain how out of their gourd they are.
But they're out of their gourd.
The actors are so good. Lip is like crazy good. They all are. Ian is crazy good.
All good.
And for those of you, if you watch Gotham, the actor that plays Ian on it is also Jerome on Gotham. He is so fantastic. And when I saw him on here, I'm going, how do I know this guy? He is nothing of Jerome on this show. I mean, he's got red hair.
Yeah.
That's about it. There is not even an inkling, which is crazy.
Yeah.
This is really fine acting. And William H. Macy leading the way. Joan Cusack, excellent.
What'd you call her?
Joan Cusack.
It sounded like you called her Cusack.
No. And they're just, they're killing me. And Emmy is great on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And Chloe Webb.
Love
is her.
So good.
They touch on so many things. They touch on a lot of the, issues with poverty and race and
gentrification
and gentrification and homelessness and alcoholism and mental illness and all of
abuse,
these things. And they do
sexuality
it in such a real
in a big way.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, so it's such it's a scary part of our humanity, and you're sitting there watching it going, oh my gosh, who lives like this? But they do. The people do.
People live this all the time.
And what
maybe
John
not
Wells,
to the extreme all the time that we see here, but
I don't know.
I think people
probably are.
I think there are a lot of people.
I think there are a lot of shows like Jerry Springer and things like
that are full of this.
That Maury Povich that are. It's like, this is they tap into that.
But the thing is, it's not sensationalizing it
No.
here.
And
once
they're
again,
not,
it feels real.
and they're not glorifying it.
No.
They're saying, like, this is the underbelly. Like, this is bad.
And
what's
also,
going on is bad.
Like, it's not just about this segment. Like, there's a character that you end up in, the North Shore of Chicago with.
Mm-hmm.
And you see how they react and how they are. And you know what? There's a lot of truth in what they did there.
Yeah.
And it's a very different dynamic. The other thing that's interesting is when you see these characters in this world bumping up against, like, we live outside of Chicago. We're downtown a lot. We're kind of north side a lot. We see a lot of people that are kind of the people we know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when they bump up against the people that live in the downtown area or the north side, and I'm not talking North Shore, I mean just the north side, it's really interesting to see how they interact and what that dynamic is too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what?
I'm trying to follow your train of thought, but
it's different. You've got very different types. People that are Sox fans versus people that are Cubs fans. There's a different type. And that's what they're illustrating here. Mm-hmm. Not that one is better than the other. They're just different. And they do a really good job of showing you that without saying North Side, South Side, Irish.
Well, and even
black,
within their
whatever.
own neighborhood.
Yes.
They have certain criteria for what is acceptable. And they have certain, you root for them.
Yes.
On a level that you don't expect yourself to root for them on. And when
even in awful situations where you almost root for the awful situation because you go, I need them to have this. I need this to work for them.
Yes. But like when the gentrification starts to happen in their neighborhood and these people are moving in and trying to put in, coffee shops and do all these things and you're watching their entire way of life is disappearing before their eyes.
Right.
And I have never seen that played out on TV before like this.
Well, and it
really shows it.
That's a really interesting part of this is when, especially like that part, when that is happening. For me personally, I'm torn between the different sides of it where I can feel how they're scared of their surroundings changing. I can feel
they can't afford to live in their neighborhood.
No, I can feel that, and it's so real. But at the same time, like the people that are moving in, they don't portray them necessarily as like characters, caricatures of that type. Like there's a lesbian couple that moves in behind Kevin and them. Well, I'm just going to say
you can't give that much information.
But they do, and you can watch it and see from both perspectives. You can watch it and not feel like, oh, they're the bad guy because they're moving in.
They don't make
it doesn't feel like we're going to move in and we're trying to blow you people out of here. They come in and they're like, we're trying to make this better for all of us.
Right. And they're not. Oh, no, they're not trying to make it better for all of them.
They are, but their version of what is better for all of them is not the reality of what is better for all of them.
But the thing about that thread even is it's nothing in the scheme.
Yeah, no, that's what I said.
In these 7 seasons, it's a blink. It's not even, it's in the background. Sliver. It's not any main story. Which is why I
don't mind talking about it a little bit. I'm not giving anything away, but I just find that what happens, like even that kernel here, is really fascinating.
I love how they handle the mental illness element of it because I have a lot of friends who struggle with bipolar and, various mental illnesses.
How many are portrayed on here?
And
I mean, there's a bunch.
They make them so real.
Yeah.
And it's such I just think they do a brilliant job. And there are very few things I've ever seen that portrayed people with mental illness authentically. And here they really, really, really do.
Well, yeah. Like there are characters that have these issues. And in other shows, like you take a show on network TV, if somebody has schizophrenia, right? Every time you see them, schizophrenia is their reality every second.
Which is not true.
Mm-hmm. And how it's usually portrayed is here is this one view of schizophrenia.
Right.
Here, we're seeing people with like bipolar, and we're writing it with them. And even when you think, hey, this guy's been fine for X amount of time, they'll do an episode where, we start seeing the signs.
Yes.
And then the next episode, boom, something happens.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, that was played so well because it was subtle. But that's how it is in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
When people have these issues, this is reality.
Right.
There's a character that keeps self-destructing. And it makes you crazy because the potential for this character is so enormous, and they just keep self-destructing. But you know what? I don't feel like it's here we go again. So-and-so's doing this. I feel like they're on a crash course, and we're either going to see this resolved, or they are truly going to spin, and it's all going to go away for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I really find that character very believable.
Yeah.
As I do all of them.
And there are some where, because they just weren't parented.
Right.
And so you sit there and you watch it and you can understand they're choosing this because they don't know how to choose the right things. They
Right.
don't know how to, and so they're trying to dig their way out. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to do the right thing, but they don't have the tools.
Well, and typically when they do start to, if some of the characters do start to kind of go in the right path, somehow or another, freaking Frank shows up, and not that he he just is, he's a pig pen. He's like Pigpen from Peanuts.
Yeah.
Only instead of a cloud of dirt, it's his cloud of crap that he gets everybody involved in some way. He ruins everything.
Yeah.
But it's not like the wacky neighbor ruins
No.
everything.
And, and that's like, we'll have to start wrapping it up and tell what we think. But it's one of my favorite shows, and one of the least I can recommend.
It's kind of like when we did this about Girls.
Yes.
And we said how much we loved Girls, but it's hard to recommend Girls to a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
This one's easier than Girls.
Yes.
But it's
difficult.
Still hard.
It's a difficult show.
Yes. But it's brilliantly done.
Yes.
It is brilliantly acted.
Not for kids, we can say that.
Oh
that's
my
a
God.
clear one.
It's not for many adults either.
Yeah, well, and see, that's just it. It's like, it's not about age. Like, you can't go like, well, my parents shouldn't watch it. They wouldn't get it.
No,
I think
it's an individual thing.
Yeah, I think you just have to know what you can handle.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested, watch the first episode, because
you'll get an eyeful.
You're going to get an eyeful of what's going on pretty quickly.
My gosh.
And once you think you've had an eyeful, guess what? You had nothing.
Oh,
it gets so much worse.
Well,
it gets so much worse.
Every single episode, we think, okay, Frank has hit the lowest he can possibly go. And every single episode you go, you have got to be freaking kidding me. No, that did not just happen. Like, it is the depths.
Right.
The depths that man can sink.
It's unbelievable. And yet you can't help but love the guy. You want to watch him. You hate him so much.
Yes.
Like, an episode ends, you're just like, oh, Frank, go away. I hate this character. Then you're like, no, don't go away, because I want to watch what Frank's going to do next. Yeah. And there is good in there. It's not like he's, oh my gosh, it's, Hans Gruber showing up and he's just killing, and you're going, oh man, there's nothing good in there. No, there is. But it's surrounded by this shell of awful.
Oh.
Awful.
It's more than a shell. Oh.
Oh, it's just a greasy, stinky.
And he does such despicable things.
He's awful.
Every time. Despicable. But
it's kind of like when they're writing it, they go, okay, here's our plot. Now, what's the worst choice somebody can make? Let's give that to Frank.
Okay.
Because he does.
So what would you rate it?
Okay, first of all, clearly binge it.
Binge what?
Binge
the heck out of it?
It's binge-worthy and binge the heck out of it. And I'll tell you why on that. Even though you might want to take a little breather between, take a breather between seasons.
I don't think we could.
I don't think you can. We couldn't.
We could not.
We didn't start this. We did 7 seasons, as busy as we are, okay? We're busy. We did 7 seasons, and we didn't start until...
We did them in just a few months.
Yeah, we started in the beginning of summer. And we caught all the way up through 6 seasons and then watched the 7th season in real time as it was happening on Showtime. And it was killing us. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And now we got to wait for an 8th season.
So
It's not
binge
easy.
it.
So I say binge the heck out of it. And just know it's rough. What do you say?
Okay. I say I have two
You got an asterisk on
answers.
this one?
I say binge the heck out of it if you can stomach it.
Yes.
If you can,
If
like,
it's
you're
too
either
much.
going to love it or you're going to go, what is wrong with these people and how
Why
could
did
they
they like
recommend
it?
this? If you
Oh my
can
God, what
get
Joan
through that
Cusack
first
does?
episode,
What Joan Cusack does?
oh,
But you love her. You have
to love her.
she's amazing.
Okay, so if you get through the first episode and you're still intact, binge the heck
Yeah.
out of the series. If you get through the first episode and you go, oh, I don't know if I can do it, then go slow.
Yeah.
Space it
exactly.
out, but it's still so worth watching. If you can't even get through the first episode, then just walk away. It's not
Yeah,
for you,
walk
and that's
away,
okay.
try something else. Yes.
You can ask people about it, and we'll fill you in.
Yes, it
but-
is not for everybody.
But if you can get through that first episode and you go, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm watching, but I'll try again. That you're gonna end up just binging the heck out of it.
Yes, because we did. And it's funny because even now, I mean, the last season just ended a couple months ago. Even a couple nights ago, Martha goes, well, do we have a new Shameless yet?
Yeah, I know. It feels like we
No.
should.
We got months before a new Shameless.
Mhm.
We might even have a year before a new
So that's
Shameless.
why we're talking about it right now.
So there you go. Determination, binge the heck, but go in with the warning. You might hate it, so take it slow in your
Take
head.
it slow. Go watch the first one.
But know if you fall into it the way we did,
oh,
you're going to lose your life for a little
Yeah,
bit.
you're
because
not
it's
coming out.
amazing.
You're not coming out till it's over. It is.
It's painful
astounding.
and awesome all at once. It's amazing. All right. I'm going to wrap it up, Mark.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter at SMG Binges. Follow us on all our social media. I'll put all that stuff in our show notes, and you can just click the links there. And if you have a suggestion for a binge, send it our way. We've got a whole stack of binges we're working on. But if you have one, you're like, oh, I'd love to hear what you say about blank, even a retro binge, throw it our way, and we'll see what we can make happen. That's it.
There you go.
Okay. Keep binging.